Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question today, one that has the power to shift your entire perspective. Why not you? Why shouldn't you be the one to rise above challenges, achieve your dreams, and live the life you've always imagined? Every great achievement in life begins with a decision. Think about that for a moment. The power to change, to grow, to succeed lies in a single, simple act of choosing. And today, yet so often we overlook this incredible power because we're distracted by circumstances, overwhelmed by challenges, or paralyzed by fear. But here's the truth. Life doesn't just happen to you. Life responds to the choices you make. Consider this. Every person you admire, every story of success that inspires you, began with someone deciding to step forward. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They didn't rely on guarantees. They made a choice. Sometimes against all odds, sometimes in the face of doubt, sometimes when everything around them screamed, "You can't!" And still, they chose. Now, let's look at the other side of this coin. How often do we drift through life without realizing we're making choices every day? When you hit the snooze button, when you postpone a goal, when you let fear hold you back. Those are choices too. They may not feel like conscious decisions, but they shape your life just as much as the big, bold actions. And at the cost of a few promises. It's the cost of few promises that makes all the difference in life. The difference is, one set of choices leads to growth and fulfillment, while the other leaves you stuck in the same place, wondering why things never change. The beauty of choice is that it doesn't require perfection, privilege, or even a plan. It simply requires willingness. Willingness to take the first step, to risk failure, to face discomfort. The most powerful question you can ask yourself isn't, "Can I do this?" but "Will I choose to try?" Because the moment you make a choice, an intentional, deliberate choice, you take back control. You shift from being a passenger in your own life to being the driver. This is the essence of human potential. The ability to choose your direction, regardless of where you're starting from. Maybe you've faced setbacks. Maybe you've been told you're not enough. Maybe you've even convinced yourself of it. But none of that defines your future unless you let it. Right here, right now, you have the power to choose differently. To choose growth over stagnation, to choose growth over fear, action over excuses. And when you do, you begin to unlock a version of yourself you never thought possible. Limiting beliefs are like invisible chains. They're not physical, they're not tangible, but they're powerful enough to keep us stuck in the same place year after year. These beliefs sneak into our minds, whispering things like, "I'm not good enough, I don't have what it takes," or "This just isn't for me." And the tragedy is we often accept them as truth without question. But let me tell you something. These beliefs aren't facts. They're just thoughts. And thoughts can be changed. Think back to a time when you doubted yourself. Maybe you felt unprepared for an opportunity or thought a dream was too big for someone like you. Did you ever stop to ask where that belief came from? Maybe it was something someone said to you years ago. Maybe it was a mistake you made that left a scar. Or maybe it's just the fear of failing. Whatever it is, it's important to realize this. Those beliefs aren't permanent. They're learned, and anything learned can be unlearned. Here's the problem with limiting beliefs. They don't just hold you back. They shape how you see the world. If you believe you're not smart enough, you'll ignore opportunities to learn. If you believe success is only for the lucky, you won't take the steps to create your own. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The belief creates inaction. The inaction creates results that confirm the belief, and the cycle continues. But what if you challenged those beliefs? What if you looked at them for what they really are? Just stories, because that's all they are. Stories you've been telling yourself. And the amazing thing about stories is that you can rewrite them. You can replace "I'm not enough" with "I'm capable." You can replace "I'll never succeed" with "I'm learning every day." It's not about pretending the challenges don't exist. It's about deciding that those challenges don't define you. Many people let fear and self-doubt dictate their choices. They look at others and think, sure, they can do it, but not me. But here's the thing. The people who achieve greatness aren't free from doubt. They feel fear just like you do. The difference is they don't let that fear stop them. They've decided that their dreams are more important than their doubts. They've chosen to believe in the possibility of success instead of settling for the certainty of staying where they are. When you allow limiting beliefs to run your life, you're not just holding yourself back, you're robbing the world of your potential. You're keeping your unique talents, ideas, and contributions locked away. And for what? Because of a belief that was never true to begin with? Imagine what could happen if you let go of that weight. Imagine the opportunities, the growth, the impact you could have if you started asking a different question. Not why me, but why not me? One of the hardest truths to accept, yet the most empowering, is that your life is your responsibility. Not your parents, not your bosses, not your partners, not the government's, yours. It's tempting to point fingers when things don't go our way. If only I had better support. If only the economy were stronger. If only someone had helped me. But the reality is, waiting for someone or something to save you is like standing in a barren field, hoping for crops to grow without ever planting a seed. Mr. Schoaf, taking responsibility isn't about blaming yourself for every misstep or failure. It's about recognizing that your choices and actions have a direct impact on where you are and where you're going. It's about understanding that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you always control how you respond. And in that response lies your power. Express your choices. Express your choices. Express what you do. Express what you write. Consider the stories of people who've faced unimaginable obstacles, poverty, illness, loss, and still managed to rise above them. What separates them from those who remain stuck in similar circumstances? It's not luck or talent. It's their willingness to take ownership of their situation. They didn't wait for someone to hand them an opportunity. They created one. They didn't focus on what was out of their control. They focused on what they could do with what they had. When you take responsibility, you shift from being a victim of circumstance to being the creator of your destiny. You stop waiting for things to happen and start making them happen. And yes, this requires courage. It requires honesty. It requires looking at the parts of your life that aren't working and admitting, this is on me. But that's not a burden. It's a gift. Because if it's on you, it means you have the power to change it. Now let's talk about excuses. We all have them, don't we? I'm too busy. I don't have enough experience. The timing isn't right. Excuses might feel valid in the moment, but they're just barriers we build to protect ourselves from discomfort. And while they might shield us from short-term effort, they cost us long-term success. When you let go of excuses and take responsibility for your actions, your mindset shifts. You stop saying, I can't because, and start asking, how can I? Exactly. Responsibility also means accepting that progress isn't always easy or quick. There will be setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. But when you take responsibility, those challenges become lessons instead of roadblocks. You learn from them, adapt, and keep moving forward. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. When you take responsibility for your life, you claim ownership of your future. You stop living on autopilot and start living with intention. You realize that no one else can want your success more than you do, and no one else can make it happen. Your life is your project, and the only person who can lead it to success is you. Growth is not something that happens overnight. It's not a single event or a moment of transformation. It's a continuous process, a lifelong commitment to becoming better today than you were yesterday. The truth is, success is built on the small, deliberate actions you take every day. It's not about giant leaps. It's about steady, consistent steps. Think about how nature works. A tree doesn't grow to its full height in a week. It starts as a seed, buried in the dirt, unseen by the world. Day by day, it stretches a little further, roots growing deeper, branches reaching higher. The progress might not be noticeable at first, but over time, the transformation is undeniable. The same is true for you. Growth isn't always visible in the moment, but every effort, no matter how small, adds up. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting for the perfect time to start. They say, I'll start when I have more money, when I have more knowledge, when I feel ready. But here's the thing, you'll never feel completely ready, and there will never be a perfect time. The perfect time is now. What matters is not where you start, but that you start. Even the smallest action, reading a page, making a plan, taking a single step, can set the wheels of growth in motion. But growth also requires patience and resilience. You won't see results overnight, and that's okay. Too often, people give up because they don't see immediate rewards. They start exercising and quit after a week because the scale doesn't budge. They start a business and abandon it after a few months because profits don't pour in. But real growth takes time. And those who succeed are the ones who keep going even when progress feels slow. A year that I spent in Los Angeles was the longest I've been. Consistency is the secret weapon of every successful person. It's showing up day after day even when you don't feel like it. It's putting in the work even when no one is watching. It's understanding that every small effort matters. That every step forward, no matter how tiny, is a step closer to your goal. Success isn't about motivation, it's about discipline. Motivation might get you started, but discipline keeps you moving forward. Another critical element of growth is adaptability. Life will throw challenges your way. Unexpected detours, obstacles you didn't see coming. But growth-minded individuals don't let these challenges stop them. They adjust their approach, learn from their mistakes, and keep going. Every setback becomes an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. And let's not forget the importance of learning. Growth requires a constant hunger for knowledge, a willingness to ask questions, seek answers, and expand your understanding. Whether it's reading books, learning from mentors, or simply observing the world around you, every bit of knowledge you gain becomes a building block for your future. Growth isn't just about doing, it's also about thinking differently, seeing the world differently, and evolving into the person you're meant to be.